Dear students, welcome to Geography class. Today, let's learn about weather and climate. This is our third chapter. Let's see the schema of the session, which means the important topics that we are going to deal with today. We will have an introduction to the chapter, and our subtopics are weather, climate. We will learn about the differences between weather and climate, and also we will learn about the weather forecast. So let's go in detail. Some days we say that it's cold morning, right? On the other hand, some days we may feel like it's a windy day or cloud sky, or even sometimes some afternoon we feel like a sultry, which means very humid and hot. Some evening we feel like it's very warm. So how do we use these phrases? Because we feel that, right? So these phrases refer to the weather conditions of a particular place at a particular time. So weather is a very significant factor of our existence. It determines or it influences the type of clothes we wear, the kind of food we eat, and the type of houses we live in. All these things are influenced by weather. So let's learn about weather and climate. Weather is the condition of the atmosphere at a particular place over a short period of time. You need to look into these words: short period of a time, condition of the atmosphere. So this can be considered as a definition of a weather. Weather is the condition of the atmosphere at a particular place over a short period of time. It can or it may change from day to day or even within the same day itself. For example, we may feel that very cold morning and also very hot afternoon, which means weather has got the span of very short time. For example, at any place, one day may be very bright and sunny, while it may be rain on the next day. So day by day, weather may or weather can change. I hope this is clear. Similarly, within the same region, on a particular day, one town might have clear sky, while another town might have overcast sky with strong winds. It shows that weather is not constant. It is always changing. So these are the features of weather. Now let's move on to climate. Climate is the general atmospheric conditions of a place over a period of time. For example, maybe 30 to 35 years, let us take. I told you to notice the terms short span. Here, these terms are important: 30 to 35 years. So climate is not the atmospheric change of a particular day or a week or a month. It takes 30 to 35 years to understand the climate of a particular region, and we will learn how it is being calculated or understood. So it is different from weather. So it is known or it is calculated like this. It is based on the analysis of a daily weather recordings such as rainfall, temperature, humidity, and winds for a period of several years. Observations after observations, recordings, calculations, analysis. So everything put together, we get a climate of a particular region. So we understand that climate is a bit different from weather. So the climate of a place is permanent in nature and does not change like weather. We may say that it is rainy day, but we cannot say that the climate is rainy. But we can say that in Himalaya we have very cold climate. Yes, I hope you understand the concept and differences. We will move further. For example, we say that India has a tropical monsoon climate because our India lies in a tropical region and affected by monsoon. We can say that it is a tropical monsoon climate. And when we say about Antarctica, since it is in a polar region, we may say that it has got a polar climate. I hope you understand the differences. So the climate too influences our ways of life by the nature of clothes we wear, houses we live in, crops we grow, and the food we eat. So both weather and climate affects or influences our existence. Now let's go to a table which shows the differences between weather and climate. See, everything is well explained in this table. Weather, it is day-to-day state of atmosphere, whereas longer sustained state of atmosphere. Weather spans over a short period of time, maybe for hours, maybe for days, or for a week. But climate spans over a longer period of time, maybe for years or decades, like 30-35 years. Weather is temporary in nature and climate is permanent in nature. I hope this concept, these differences are clear to you. Now, let us see what are the elements that affect weather and climate. Temperature, pressure, wind, humidity, precipitation, sunshine, cloud cover. So all these elements influences weather and climate of a particular region. Now we move to a new topic, that is weather forecast. How can we know the weather beforehand? For example, how can we know the weather of tomorrow by today itself? Let us see. Since weather influences our daily life, it's very important to know what are the situations of weather, right? So a systematic study the elements of weather is very essential. It is needed because it directly influences or affects our life. So this scientific study of weather condition is called meteorology. The scientific study of weather conditions is called meteorology. What will we call a person who studies about weather? The scientist who study weather is called, the scientists are called meteorologists. So these two terms are very important. meteorology and meteorologist. So weather studies are carried out by different instruments. We use different kinds of instruments in order to notice the weather and climate of a particular region. So that includes like measuring temperature, that instrument that which measure temperature and atmospheric pressure, humidity, precipitation, speed and direction of wind. So all these tools for this measurement are used for the studies. So where do we see these kind of instruments? They are generally installed in weather station. So what is weather station? Weather station is the place where weather conditions are recorded continuously, where the weather studies are done. So weather ship, balloons and satellites also help to collect data. What is weather ship? Yeah, we need to know the weather and climate of a sea. How do we know? Some ships are made for recording these kind of variations in weather, and that works or act as a weather station in the sea. So they are known as weather ships. And some balloons are assigned with a task to record the data which are related to weather situations, weather conditions. So there are balloons, satellites. So all these instruments collect data regarding weather, and what they do finally, these data are compiled on computers for study and further analysis. Through that analysis, predictions of weather are made by careful observations and accurate calculations. So that's how we get knowledge about weather. So the weather forecast, which means foreseeing the weather, is easy. The predictions which are announced by weather stations are collectively called weather forecast. That's how we get the weather of tomorrow or day after tomorrow or maybe next month. So that's how we can know the weather forecast. And is it useful? Definitely. Since weather affects our day-to-day life and activities, weather forecast is much needed and much useful. And especially this is useful for farmers, fishermen, aviators and navigators. That's how weather forecast is much useful to us. So this weather forecast gives them advanced warning related to storms, flood and droughts, etc. So especially the fishermen in the sea, they get a weather forecast so that they can save their life. Like if the sea is going to be rough, they have to come back to land, right? Yes. Weather forecast is received through newspapers, television and radio. So we get this weather forecast through newspapers, television and radio. So it can be done on a daily basis or consecutively for 2 or 3 days or sometimes also for a season. So that's how we get maybe for a day, maybe for a few days, maybe for a week, maybe for a month, maybe for a season, we get weather forecast. I hope this session was clear to you. Today we were trying to introduce this chapter, and also we learned about what is weather and what is climate and what are the differences between weather and climate. And we have also seen what is weather forecast. As a homework, Kindly answer the question in comment box. Define climate. Thank you.